Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
Have you seen Supernatural?
Did you know this movie stars Jensen Ackles from Supernatural?
Something, something, supernatural, blah, 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 something.
All this and more on Gory Storytime.
Warning. Gory Storytime is a horror movie review show by a son and his dad who thought that letting his 5-year-old watch scary movies was acceptable. If you are offended by horror or talk about blood and gore by a child, or if you don't want horror movies from the 60s through today spoiled, then there is a remote stuck in your couch cushion next to potato chip crumbs. Use it. And of course, parental discretion is advised.
Why? You didn't use any.
Shut up and start the show.
Welcome to Gory Storytime. I'm your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and his father, Craig. And let's see. Let's answer those questions quick. No. So what? And I don't care. Anyway, so here's what we're doing. This is the fourth movie that wasn't really in a set. So our set is 4 unrelated movies, apparently.
No, it was movies we hadn't seen.
Yeah, but that doesn't. That's not really a category.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Anyway, if you told someone that this movie and Terrifier were in the same category, they would slap you for being disrespectful.
To Terrifier.
Oh yeah, of course. Okay. So anyway, next week we plan on trying to come up with something as, you know, the way we have done it in the past, where there's 4 movies with a similar topic or something. These 4 were just like...
Murder was in all of the movies that we did.
Sure, yes. Murder. Anyway, here's the premise of the movie. Everything that happens didn't or did it?
Oh, but did you know it stars Jensen Ackles?
Oh, yeah. Like, the thing that this movie has going for it is, if you're a fan of Supernatural, this has one of those guys in it. I'm trying to stretch, and I'm hoping people
what's
get...
this movie about? Jensen Ackles from Supernatural. He plays Jake, and he's...
and supernatural stuff happens to him.
He's insane.
No, here's what it really is. Basically, he's got some mental issues that make him not sure. He's like having nightmares while he's awake, and he doesn't know what's real and what's not.
Stuff where he like views something creepy, but then it doesn't actually happen.
Yeah, it's all in his head. It's a night. They say in the movie that it's a nightmare.
Waking nightmare.
Yeah. Then, for his birthday, a friend of his pays for him to be part of a underground game where they mess with your sense of reality and you don't know what's real and what's not, because they didn't already have that plot going with the other thing. So they added that on top of it.
Right.
And then a bunch of stuff may have happened until the end.
Don't make it sound like it's clarified at the end.
Oh, I didn't say that.
Okay.
At the end, it just stops. And then, spoiler alert, it ends with the guy going, I don't even know what happened. Right. Neither did the people watching. I've never hated the critics for giving a higher rating than it's deserved so much in my life.
Right.
Anyway, the premise is he's then got 2 reasons why he can't trust anything, and then people around him start dying, or do they? And it may be done to help him or hurt him or blame him or set him up, or
it's murder,
might
or
not
it's
have
suicide.
actually happened at all.
No. That's one thing that's through and through.
Well,
They're
no,
dead.
but not always. That's you don't.
No, they're dead.
Well, whatever. The point is, Like, what you don't see is, this movie was really, really bad. And like, I almost want to just get up and leave in protest because I hate giving poor reviews, but instead, get ready for something that isn't censored. I'm going to shit upon this movie for the next 20 minutes because I can. That'll teach them to make this movie. They should have known better when they saw the script and started filming. It is their fault. They have earned this. Everything that's coming.
But if you couldn't tell what we think the movie was about,
here's what the trailer makes it out to be.
Let's play a real game.
Some games must never be played. Welcome to the pathway.
I've never played this before.
Some lines must never be crossed.
You give it your phone numbers and stuff, then it calls you and gives you bizarre things to do.
What kind of bizarre things?
Some fears must never be faced.
Hello? Are you ready for another test?
Dude, what do you want now?
What have you and your friends gotten into?
When we started, it was just a game that had the strange ability of knowing what we were thinking.
You say it's called the pathway.
Yes, why?
Because that's what we call the connection between the devil and the possessed.
So how did I resist?
There's a higher power looking out for you.
Do you think that the pathway has something to do with what Conrad did to himself?
Don't be afraid. It's time to play.
Devour on DVD.
I didn't have a choice. Neither of us do.
So if that cleared it up for you, be happy because the movie doesn't. Now, normally, this is when I would say we're going to do our commercials because it turns out what we really do is we do this all for the money and we, have all this fun with these fake commercials and stuff. But had that been a real thing
Fake
this entire time,
commercials?
shut up for a minute. If that had been a real thing this whole time where we were actually making fat stacks of cash, as I claim, and they back up Brinks trucks of money, nothing would have made me feel like I earned it. One movie would be more earned than this one, and that was Maniac, but not by a lot. This was at least, I didn't want to punch myself in the face instead of continue viewing it, so I guess it was slightly better. But now let me go into my preamble. You might think that we're doing the show because we happen to be fans of horror movies, but actually what it turns out to be is we like making big stacks of cash by pimping ourselves out, promoting products that pay us those same stacks.
like big stacks.
To promote their real products that actually exist. And for those playing the GST drinking game, every time I do this,
You now have liver cancer.
yeah,
Right.
basically. Anywho, so here's what we're actually selling that's real this week. Gory Storytime is brought to you by Wait, You Never Saw That? The online game where you answer trivia questions about a movie or TV series that everybody tells you, oh my God, I can't believe you haven't seen that. You haven't seen that? What's the matter with you? Unlike most trivia games, Wait, You Never Saw That gives you points based on how funny your answers are and not by getting it right. Actually, getting it right kind of disproves the fact that you never saw it. So you're supposed to come up, it's kind of like, you try to get the funniest answers and what's that?
Apples to apples.
Well, I was going to go Cards Against Humanity because that's a
Yeah.
little more offensive, but sure. But it's basically like that, right? Just punch in the title that people are shocked you haven't seen, and we supply 20 questions for you to BS your way through. So if you've never seen Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, Forrest Gump, or any hundreds of titles, you can play Wait, You Never Heard of That today. Or never saw
seen
that.
that.
Whatever.
And
I'm
by
frustrated.
How to Make It in Hollywood with No Discernible Talent. The acting course that breaks down the many ways you can be on screen even if you suck worse than a soap opera actor on his first day. Get advice from people who have made it big throughout the course. Rob Schneider teaches you how to become friends with someone who can act and cling to them for dear life. Tyler Perry teaches how to make movies for a group who believe it's good for the group if you do well, and many more. That's How to Make It in Hollywood with No Discernible Talent. Sign up today.
Too many people have passed that class, apparently. Anyway, so there wasn't a lot of information about this because why
might
would there
be
be?
The two people that have seen it.
Like, oh my word. I know, but like, this was another movie that I don't know where it came from. It just showed up in my house. That happened with Ghost Ship I got from my mom.
Ghost Ship you got from your mom, but it was the 13 Ghosts.
13 Ghosts just appeared in my house, and it was so weird.
In like
this
2002.
One too. I don't remember specifically purchasing it, but we certainly have it in the house. And it wasn't something he was willing to claim because he likes...
I think it was me.
He tries to like good things. He's not always the best at it, but he tries. I got to give him that. And this was not one of those. This is not one that we're going to disagree, and he's going to be like, no, this was amazing.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. Would never watch again.
I mean, this thing had, like... what?
So much.
It had 6 facts, and I stretched it to 10 just so that we could have facts.
Heck yeah.
You want to go first, or you want me
Sure.
to? Okay.
Jake and his father share a special in-life connection. It's Jensen Ackles and his biological father, Alan Ackles.
Yeah, so his father was played by his father. All right.
Takes
That's
good
more
acting,
interesting
right?
than the movie.
Takes real good acting
Yeah.
to play father and son.
The cabin and lake house in the movie were also used in Season 1, Episode 3 of Jensen's show, Supernatural.
Whoa. All pictures of young Jake Gray used in the opening credits are actually real childhood and teenage pictures of Jensen Ackles.
Of the cast of Devour, 12 have been on or are on Supernatural, including Jensen.
Really? In Jake's room, the poster over his shoulder is from the DC-based metal band Division. Division's members appear in several indie zombie movies as uncredited extras.
Jensen Ackles and Martin Cummins had worked previously together on Dark Angel. Haha, you thought I was going to say Supernatural.
Whoa. All right. In the early scene in the lecture hall, Dominique Swain's hair alternates between neatly brushed and tousled as she has a dialogue with the professor.
Director David Winkler is also a producer on movies like Rocky Balboa, Creed, and The Mechanic.
Writers Adam and Seth Gross had written on the original Bill Nye the Science Guy and America's Funniest People.
And in the movie The Holiday, which I've never seen, you can see a DVD of Devour in Amanda's house. You might wonder, who's Amanda? I don't know. I, not having seen The Holiday, have no idea. I don't really care. It's not really a fact about this movie, but that's how desperate we were. And
wait.
Here's a bonus 11 one. Jensen Ackles was in Supernatural. If you didn't pick up that, since they didn't come out and just blatantly say it, they're like, he worked with other people, and this cabin was on, and blah. That was like the entirety of the movie was like, hey, look, it's that guy you know from another thing.
I don't. All right,
I've watched 0 episodes of Supernatural. 0.
I've seen
He's watched 2,
1.
and one of them was because Scooby-Doo was a co-star.
Heck yeah, by the way.
I'm not even kidding. That's literally why.
It's an extended episode of a Scooby-Doo show. And
No, it was an episode of Supernatural.
I know, but it was barely a Supernatural episode.
They went
it was
into
more about
an
Scooby
actual
than them.
classic Scooby episode. But anyway. Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes exists.
Yeah. So Rotten Tomatoes doesn't actually, like a lot of people think, and I know I say this every week, but...
To pad that runtime.
Well, no, it's the classic thing where, like, Adam Carolla says, every episode could be someone's first episode. You know? So certain things he's going to say every time. Well, it's a fair point. if this was someone's first episode, maybe they don't know.
We have a pirate ship, and you can't take us down.
Yeah, let's just rip him off completely. He's not really big into horror, so that wouldn't work.
No?
No. Anywho, and people would be like, hey, I've heard Corolla do that. That's why I gave credit to him, because I don't steal people's jokes like some people. Anyway, not naming names. What was I saying? Rotten Tomatoes. They just are a conglomerate where they they just take all of the professional reviews and they put them together and they figure out what percent gave it a positive review, and then they give that number as what it's rated. So if they say something's 12%, it just means 12% of the people reviewing it that were professional gave it a positive review. That's basically a C or above. And they also do that with the people and let them vote. And I'm disappointed with my people. But go ahead. What?
Yeah, the critics have it at a whopping 20%. 5 reviews, one of them gave it a
positive.
Yeah,
and 42% of people have apparent brain damage.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
I didn't have any more to say about that. All right. Here's where the real fun comes in. What was your least favorite thing about... No, let's save that. What was your favorite thing? What little bit of polish did you find in this turd?
All right. So, I guess just what isn't what the trailer makes it look like, by the way. The trailer makes it look like it's all about this game.
No, because he was having those episodes before the game existed.
Right. Just the idea of this game where you sign up and you're getting calls to do like messed up stuff.
I mean, you could always watch the movie The Game starring Michael Douglas. It's a thriller version of like that idea from before this was made, done well. You could always do that instead. But go ahead.
It seemed like a good concept. And seeing as I had never heard of that concept in anything before, that sounded interesting.
But when you saw Joker, you didn't realize you heard that it ripped off 2 movies. You didn't realize how much until I showed you those movies and you went...
I didn't know. I didn't even hear about that until months later.
Well, I mean, I complained about it before we went to see it because everybody was talking about it. I'm like,
yeah, but I just thought you were like being crazy old you complaining about whatever you could.
Anyway. Then...
My favorite thing is that it sounded like a kind of cool idea.
All right. My favorite thing
is... Did you know Jensen Ackles is in Supernatural?
My favorite thing... I mean, it didn't even have the good taste to show boobs. Like, I can't... there isn't one. There literally isn't.
You had a favorite thing in Maniac, and this isn't as bad as that, so how can you possibly?
Yeah, you know what I said? The ending, when the credits rolled. Yes.
No.
I think that was one of the many times I'm being agreed with.
Wow.
That was one of the many times where if I didn't like something, I was like, my favorite part was when the credits started. And I didn't want to go there again because, I've done that joke. I get it.
I mean,
I'm happy that it was over. But, I can't think of a good thing about it. The women weren't attractive. There was no nudity.
How shallow are you?
The story was awful. The acting was subpar, but not in a fun way.
Yeah.
I watched it and I went, this guy had 8,000 years of a series? How? He can't act. It's didn't you know this guy couldn't act on another thing for a long time? Sure. Me too. There are no redeeming qualities for this movie. The best thing is I could sit through it and not want to punch myself in the face like Maniac. That was about it. I could actually get to the end.
So I guess both of us, our favorite thing had nothing to do with what was actually on screen.
Quickly, what's your least favorite thing?
So much of it.
Right. Pick the worst offender.
The worst offender. Twist, spoiler alert, if you care, Jensen Ackles is actually Satan's son, but Satan's a woman.
And that's only if his imaginary nightmares in game are real, which they kind of at the end have him go, I don't think it was real. So like they don't even make sure that that's true.
But they spend like 20 minutes on like making sure you know all about how.
But they're
Satan
making sure
gave
you know
birth
that
to
either
him.
his nightmares or the game is fooling him into believing that. And then they pull the rug out and go, those things aren't real. And if you want to see a better version of I think things are happening and they're not really happening,
American Psycho,
literally, that's the best example. The entirety of the movie.
I mean,
not
I think
to ruin
I gave
that
movie a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, that
so.
movie's good. It's just it ends with none of it happened. Anyway,
So on a scale of from 1 to 10, what would you rate this movie?
I'm gonna give it 2 because it's shit.
I'm not as nice as him. It's a 1.5. This movie was really bad. Don't go watch it.
Yeah,
I mean, if you
and if
are
anyone
having a good day,
is watching this on YouTube and says, "Hey, I saw that and happened to like it," please feel free to not comment because I don't want to talk to people that lack that kind of
I
intelligence.
mean, but
it's
if you
just
do,
not worth my time.
We will bring you up on the show next week.
Oh yeah, if
And
someone
we'll mock
does,
you for
I'll be like,
liking this
haha,
movie.
listen to this idiot named, and I'll read your name off. So leaving comments, you heard me now. I will name names. If you defend this piece of crap, I will name names. You should be on a list somewhere, and I will put you there. Anyway.
Yes. 1.5, 2. That's high.
I only picked 2 because it means poop. Like literally, that was my reasoning. I wish poop was number 1, then I could have like went lower. Anyway.
Heck yeah.
Put the stuff up on the side of the screen. Let's do that.
Yes. You can watch the show on channel 1076, Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. and Fridays at 7 p.m.
You can like us on Facebook. And like always, when I say like us, I mean you can like Gory Storytime, which is cool. We're getting quite a following on there, apparently.
Right.
No one's watching the episodes, but they're sure clicking like on the page.
If you're liking our page, go and watch the episodes, please.
Yeah, that would be awesome. What was I going to say? But also like Fact TV. Like you can watch local government stuff, which, you know, some people find boring, but I happen to be into politics and stuff. You know, I care about my community. You can watch other programs other people come in and produce like we do. You know, there's quite a bit. There's other movie shows. There's just anyone that has a good idea. If you're watching this and you're in the Bellows Falls area, come in and pitch an idea. Like
Heck yeah.
They accept them all. It's not like they judge.
If you liked this
Colin
movie,
judges, but he'll
liked
still
this
film
movie,
it.
We'll interview you on the next episode just to let you know how dumb you are.
Yeah, we'll make a separate interview show just to mock. Anyway,
the Gory Story Times.
Next.
All right. You can go to www.factdate.com. They have a bunch of the back episodes of this and other things.
And of course, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Craig Jakes, all lowercase, all one word.
I'm at Jiggly Fernbrain. I don't tweet about the show. I just tweet funny things that he says in or out of context.
However it's funniest. And you can follow Juggalo Jakes, like and subscribe to my channel. I don't make any money off it because I cuss on a lot of things, and there's music videos, there's sketches, whatever. It's not about making money. It's just about getting the funny out there. So, you know,
Yes.
share if you think something's funny. We got some parody commercials and all sorts of stuff that I think are pretty good.
Did you know Jensen Ackles was in Supernatural?
I don't care. Anyway.
Until next time, I'm your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and his father, Craig.
And
sweet dreams.